Have you ever wondered what truly makes a man never forget you? It's not sweet words, nor is it a few fleeting moments of fiery passion. What often lingers longest in his heart comes from small, subtle, and seemingly simple gestures that touch the deepest, most hidden parts of him. A kiss may not last more than a few seconds, but its echo can last a lifetime. When you touch the right door to his subconscious, you don't just kiss his skin. You kiss his memories, his vulnerability, and a soul he's never shown to anyone else. That's when love transcends physical attraction and becomes an immortal spiritual imprint. In this journey, we'll explore 7 spots on a man's body where a gentle kiss can make him remember you forever. Each place tells a story, a symbol, a silent whisper. You'll see that to make a man's heart devoted to you, you don't need magic. You just need to be subtle enough to touch the places the world has forgotten. Let's begin and let these kisses guide you deeper into a man's inner world, where true love is born. Subscribe to our channel to uncover the subtle secrets of love, where every small moment can change a heart forever. 1. A kiss on the neck. There's a truth that few people realize. The back of the neck is the gateway to a man's subconscious. In daily life, he's constantly tense, observing, calculating, and preparing to face the world. His eyes are always wide open, his ears are always listening, and his shoulders are always burdened with responsibility. But there is one place he cannot control or observe: the back of his neck, a blind spot on his body. And because he can't see it, a kiss placed there creates an incredibly powerful psychological effect. From the perspective of Carl Jung, the famous psychoanalyst, anything that happens outside the conscious awareness directly touches the subconscious mind. The back of the neck is an area he can't see, can't anticipate, and can't build a defensive barrier around. Therefore, a kiss here is not just a touch on the skin. It's a message that goes straight into his subconscious, the repository of primordial memories and suppressed emotions. Imagine gently approaching him, without a word, and softly placing your lips on the nape of his neck. He is unprepared, has no time to react, but his entire body instantly registers the moment. It's not a burst of passion like a fiery touch. It's a gentle, peaceful wave that dissolves the psychological armor he has worn for too long. In that moment, he feels he has a place where he doesn't need to be strong, doesn't need to prove himself, and doesn't need to be in control. He just needs to be. For many men, the world constantly demands that they be leaders, pillars of support, and protective shields. But a kiss on the neck is a sweet reversal. You are telling him, with me, you can let your guard down. You don't have to be a hero. You just have to be yourself. This is a rare experience for him, and something that etches the kiss deeply into his mind. It doesn't require technique or haste. Its true power lies in its gentleness, stillness, and element of surprise. A kiss on the neck is not a seductive move, but a message of safety. It says, you can relax, you can breathe deeply, and you can be your whole, unhidden, and genuine self. Many people have shared that they feel an inexplicable urge to touch the nape of their partner's neck, even with just a fleeting kiss. In fact, this is an instinct linked to a primal memory. As children, the back of the neck is where we felt the comforting touch of a parent, a gentle caress of the hair, or a hug from behind. This memory is imprinted in the subconscious and continues to live within the adult body. So when a woman places a kiss on his neck, a man not only feels romance, but also a sense of protection and love, a return to the secure feeling of being a child. This kiss also sends an unspoken message. You see him, even when he isn't trying to show himself. You choose to love the parts of him that he doesn't show off, that are unprepared and imperfect. And that's what makes the difference, because deep love isn't just about celebrating his successes. It's about your gentle presence when he is tired or vulnerable. A kiss on the neck is more than an intimate gesture. It is a key that unlocks the most private door to a man's soul. He won't forget it, not because of its intensity, but because it touches the deepest layer of his being, where he's free to be himself. Share this video to spread inspiration about moments that touch the soul, and follow our channel to discover more ways to connect more deeply. 2. A kiss on the inner arm. If the back of the neck is the gateway to the subconscious, the inner arm is a delicate patch of land that a man rarely lets anyone touch. We often see them extend strong arms, with firm muscles and clenched fists to assert their strength. But few people notice that the inner arm, where the bicep and forearm connect, is a soft, warm area of skin where major blood vessels run directly from the heart to nourish the body. It's not just biologically significant, but also a symbol of sensitivity and vulnerability. When a woman places her lips on that skin, she sends a profound message. I see you, both your strength and your vulnerability. This is something most men rarely hear in their lives. The world outside calls on them to be unwavering, to hide their emotions, and to play the role of the undefeated warrior. But in the subconscious, alongside the warrior archetype, there also exists the lover archetype, the desire to be understood, treated with gentleness, and accepted completely. According to Jungian psychoanalysis, every person carries multiple primordial images: the warrior, the father, the lover, the child. These archetypes operate silently in the subconscious, shaping behavior and emotions. When you kiss his inner arm, this small action awakens the lover archetype he has kept hidden for so long. The kiss says, you are not just strength. You also have the right to be soft, to be cared for, and to be a whole person. Imagine a simple moment. He's sitting comfortably, his arm resting casually at his side. You lean in unannounced and gently place a kiss on that soft skin. His body will pause for a second, as if a door to a memory just opened. It could be the memory of his mother holding his hand for the first time as a child, or the feeling of safety when someone held his hand when he was trembling. Even if he doesn't say it, his subconscious has registered it, and you are the one who has reawakened that feeling. What's special about this area of skin is that it is a semi-private, semi-public place. It's not as overtly sexual as the lips or neck, nor as impersonal as the hands. It's in the middle, a place rarely noticed, but with profound intimate meaning. This element of surprise makes a kiss here an unforgettable moment. Some women have shared that they don't understand why they feel drawn to kissing their man's inner arm. They feel a natural pull, as if they are compelled. Now, through the lens of psychology, we can see that it's an instinct toward genuine emotional connection. A kiss here is not about seduction. It's about reassurance. It's not about possession. It's about acknowledging his presence. Deep down, every man carries a fear that if he is weak, he will be looked down upon, that if he reveals his vulnerabilities, he will no longer be respected. But when you place a kiss on his arm, that fear melts away. Your action proves that you are not looking for a perfect statue, but are accepting a real person, both his strength and his fragility. A kiss on the inner arm is a rare blend of gentleness and respect. It's not ostentatious or loud, but it leaves a lasting mark. When he lies alone at night, that memory can return like a warm current running through his body. He will remember that a woman once touched a deep part of him that the rest of the world had forgotten. And that's what makes you different. Not because of your intensity, but because you know how to kiss the places no one else pays attention to. You know how to love his most vulnerable parts. 3. A kiss on the back. A man's back isn't just about taut muscles, an upright posture, or broad shoulders. It's the place that holds all the invisible burdens he carries throughout his life. In the collective unconscious, as Carl Jung explained, the back symbolizes support, the foundation a man believes he must hold firm so that his world doesn't collapse. Every step, every responsibility, every pressure is stored in his back, which he rarely complains about. When you gently kiss his back, you don't just touch his skin, you touch those silent burdens. It's a moment when you unconsciously whisper, You don't have to carry it all alone. This message alone can bring him to tears in his mind, even if he remains outwardly stoic. Imagine a familiar scene. He's standing in the kitchen preparing dinner, or bending over to look for something in a cabinet. You approach him from behind, unannounced, and softly place your lips between his shoulder blades. Just for a second, but his entire body immediately sends a signal to relax. He breathes more deeply, maybe even lets out a soft sigh, a breath he may not have dared to take all day. That kiss is a break, a quiet permission for him to stop, to be vulnerable, to be a normal person, and not an invincible pillar. In psychoanalysis, the back is a blind spot, meaning he can't see it himself. This implies that any loving gesture here goes directly into the subconscious. Without eye contact or words, a kiss on the back becomes a primal imprint, a body memory that his conscious mind cannot deny. It evokes deep feelings of being cared for, like a mother's soothing pat on the back as a child, or a trusted friend's reassuring hand on the shoulder. The magic of this kiss is that it doesn't need to be passionate or long-lasting. It just needs to be present and sincere. Men are often forced by society to live behind a mask of pride, to always appear strong and never allowed to fall. But in the moment he receives a kiss on his back, that mask cracks. He realizes that there is at least one place in this world where he can let his burdens fall, and you are the one who gives him that peace. Many women think that to keep a man, they need explosive charm, or dramatic, impressive actions, but in reality, it's often the small things, like a kiss on the back, that touch the deepest part of his soul. Because it is a silent acknowledgement, you see the unspoken pains he always tries to hide. A man might forget lavish parties or loud praise, but he will never forget the moment you gently kissed his back on an ordinary evening. In that moment, he was himself, with no role to play, no facade, and no need to prove anything. This is why a kiss on the back becomes a symbol of companionship. It speaks for 100 promises. You are not alone. I am here. I see all that you carry, and I am ready to share it. This isn't a showy kind of affection, but a deep and lasting love that makes him cherish you, not just with his mind, but with his entire emotional memory. A small gesture with the power to soothe a soul that has grown accustomed to living in silence. And that's why a kiss on the back will always be one of the things he can never forget. 4. A kiss on the eyelids. A man's eyes are a reflection of his inner world. From a young age, they are taught to keep their eyes wide open, to observe, to be vigilant, and to always be ready to face challenges. The eyes, therefore, become an invisible shield, always in a state of protection, never allowing themselves to be careless. However, there is a rare moment when a man dares to drop that barrier, when he closes his eyes next to a person he trusts completely. And at that very moment, a gentle kiss on his eyelids becomes an unforgettable imprint. When a woman kisses a man's eyelids, she is not just touching a delicate area of skin. She is reaching into the subconscious layer where he stores trust and surrender. Remember, to close his eyes in front of someone, he needs to feel completely safe. It is a rare act of letting go, like a silent declaration. I trust you. I can rest with you. Because of this, a kiss on the eyelids is not about passionate seduction, but a symbol of protection and peace. Imagine an evening when he comes home after a long, tiring day and collapses into a chair. He closes his eyes and sighs. You come close, say nothing, and gently press your lips against his eyelids. In just a few short seconds, his entire body is bathed in a soft wave of calm. It's not a demand, not a test, but a wordless whisper. You can rest, you can let all your burdens fall, at least for now. In psychoanalysis, the eyes are considered the windows to the soul, but the eyelids are the doors that temporarily close so the soul can find peace. When you kiss them, you give him permission to end the fight, to temporarily escape the hero's role. For many men, this is more valuable than any physical attraction, because it touches a deep layer that few people can reach, a layer of absolute trust. One woman shared that when she kissed his eyelids, it felt like the world stopped. And it did, because in that moment, you were breaking the noisy flow of life and replacing it with a moment of silence filled with love. This kiss is like a ritual where both of you step out of your social roles and are left with only raw honesty. What makes a kiss on the eyelids unique is its contrast. The world always forces a man to keep his eyes wide open, ready to fight, while that kiss tells him he can close them, he can be at peace. This contrast creates a haunting power. It etches a special feeling into his subconscious. With you, I don't need to be on guard, I don't need to be in control, and I don't need to prove anything. A kiss on the eyelids is also a subtle message of silent understanding. You don't need to convince him with long, comforting words. A gentle touch is enough. He understands. He understands that you see his exhaustion and that you choose to be there in silence, giving him space to rest. For a man, that feeling is so rare that it becomes a body memory, a kind of memory that doesn't fade. No matter how much time passes, later, when he's alone at night, he might not remember what you said or what day it was, but he will bear the moment your lips touched his eyelids, when he closed his eyes and the world outside seemed to disappear. That is a feeling of peace he cannot find anywhere else. And because of that, a kiss on the eyelids is one of the secrets that a man will never forget. It's not loud or dramatic, but it has the power to seep into his heart and make you the safest sanctuary he always longs to return to. 5. A kiss on the sides of the waist. If the back of the neck is about surprise and the eyelids are about peace, then the sides of the waist are the thin line between intimacy and privacy. This isn't an area of the body that is often praised or noticed. It's not overtly seductive like the lips or neck, nor is it as familiar as the hands or shoulders. But precisely because it's so rarely touched, it carries a silent power, capable of awakening primal emotions in a man's soul. The sides of the waist are located next to the body's core, where vital organs are housed. In the subconscious, this is a protected area, where a man unconsciously tenses up to keep himself safe. So, when you gently place your lips there, you're sending an incredibly profound signal. You can trust me, you can relax. It's not just a kiss, it's an invitation for him to cross his defensive barrier and open up to a true connection. Imagine a quiet morning. He's standing in the kitchen, his hands resting casually on the counter. You come up behind him, wrap your arms around him gently, and place a kiss on his side. It doesn't need to last long, just a few seconds, but his entire body immediately recognizes that something is different. It's not about possession or an explosive act of seduction. It's a message of presence. I am here. I feel you, and you are allowed to feel me. From a Carl Jung perspective, the human body is not just physical matter, but a mirror of the soul. The waist, which functions to maintain balance and protect life, symbolically represents the core of one's being. When you kiss it, you don't just touch the skin, you touch a profound symbol. You touch his balance, the part he always tries to hide to maintain a strong facade. What's special about a kiss on the sides of the waist is that it simultaneously evokes desire and a sense of protection. It doesn't lean entirely toward passion or gentleness, but is a rare blend of both. It says, I desire you, but I also want to take care of you. This is the kind of feeling that makes a man unable to mistake you for anyone else. Out in the world, he may receive admiration and desire, but he rarely receives this subtle combination of longing and nurturing. Some women have said that when they instinctively kissed their partner's waist, his reaction was completely unexpected. It might be a deep sigh, a brief pause, or a look of surprise. The reason is that few people realize that such a normal area can hold the power to awaken such emotions, and that very surprise makes the moment an unforgettable memory. In a world where men must always stay balanced and tense up to prove their strength, a kiss on the waist is like permission for them to let go, to be a little off balance, to touch their vulnerability without fear of judgment. It is a rare kind of liberation, like a quiet interlude in the noisy symphony of life. Later, he might not remember exactly what you were wearing or what happened that day, but he will remember the feeling of your lips touching a place on his body that the rest of the world had forgotten. That feeling comes back to him at night when he's thinking, or in moments when he feels empty, the kiss on the waist. And you will realize that what makes you miss him isn't the grand gestures, but the subtleties, the delicate moments that embrace parts of him he thought were insignificant yet hold immense value. A kiss on the waist is not just an intimate act. It's a secret language of connection where desire and tenderness become one. It speaks 1,000 promises, a silent testament that you choose to see him not just with your eyes, but with your heart. This is why a kiss in this place will live forever in a man's memory and emotions. The kiss on the hand. A man's hands tell the most stories. They are hands that have worked, built, and carried responsibilities. They are also hands that have comforted, protected, and held what is precious. In the eyes of society, a man's hands symbolize strength and action. But behind those calloused fingers and prominent veins lie weariness, a longing for recognition, and a deep desire to be gently held. A soft kiss on the hand is not a simple romantic gesture, it's a silent tribute that he will never forget. Imagine a simple, everyday moment. He reaches his hand out to you or rests it unconsciously on a table. You lean in, take his hand, and place a kiss on it. No rush, no pretense, just a fleeting touch. But that single moment has the power to resonate to the very core of his heart. This kiss says, I value you, I value all that these hands have done, and I'm grateful for your presence in my life. From the perspective of Carl Jung's analytical psychology, hands can be seen as a symbol of action and creativity, where a person expresses their will, strength, and ingenuity. A man often ties his self-worth to his ability to do, create, and control. When you kiss his hand, you're not just expressing love. You're acknowledging the silent effort and labor he has put in. You touch upon the archetype of the warrior within him, but instead of asking him to keep fighting, you offer him recognition and tenderness. There's a profound paradox here. Hands accustomed to clenching for protection are now being cherished by a gentle kiss. This very contrast creates a powerful emotional impact. A man will realize that in this harsh world, there is at least one place where his hands don't have to clench, where they can relax, tremble, and be loved without having to prove anything. In daily life, it's rare for men to receive such subtle and profound appreciation. They may be praised for their intellect, appearance, or success, but few remember the hands that have seen them through so much hardship. Therefore, a kiss on the hand leaves a powerful, indelible mark on his mind. It reminds him that you see the things others often overlook. Many women have shared that the first time they did this, their partner reacted with profound surprise. Some men froze, looking at the woman with a moved expression, while others tightened their grip, as if to hold on to that moment forever. This kiss is unlike any other display of affection. It doesn't aim to stir desire, but to foster emotional bonding. It doesn't aim to seduce, but to acknowledge. A kiss on the hand can also become a symbol of commitment. Like a silent ritual, it says, I don't just love you when things are easy, I cherish the calluses and the hardships you've endured. For men, this recognition is more precious than 1,000 promises. It touches a secret part of his soul, but he rarely reveals the part that fears his efforts will be taken for granted and go unnoticed. And so, even as years pass, he will remember that moment you softly kissed his hand. He'll remember the feeling of being both surprised and comforted. He'll remember that there was a woman who chose to see not only his outer strength, but also the struggles hidden within his hands. This is a memory of the body and of the heart that won't easily fade. Therefore, a kiss on the hand is one of the deepest ways to touch a man's heart. It says so little, but holds so much power. It sets you apart. You are the woman who doesn't just love him on the surface, but cherishes him at his very core, his strength and his vulnerability. The kiss on the left side of the chest, where the heart beats, is the center of life, and emotion a silent sanctuary that few dare to touch with reverence. For a man, the left side of his chest is often shielded by muscle and a tough exterior, a wall protecting his deepest vulnerabilities, but a gentle kiss placed right there can crack that wall, revealing a fragile world he rarely allows anyone to enter. When you place your lips on his chest, you are touching the very rhythm of his life, his heartbeat. This is more than just an intimate act. It's a spiritual connection. The kiss whispers, "I feel you," from your heart to your soul. I love the real you, not just your exterior. It's this profound connection that makes a kiss on the chest an experience he will never forget. According to Carl Jung's psychoanalytic theory, every human desires harmony between their outer self or persona and their true inner world. The left side of the chest, where the heart beats, is a symbol for that inner world. A kiss here can awaken the archetypes of the lover and the child within him, the parts that yearn to be loved unconditionally and accepted without pretense. Imagine a quiet evening. He's lying beside you, his mind heavy with the day's burdens. You lean down and gently kiss the left side of his chest, right over his beating heart. He doesn't need to say a word, but his body responds instantly. His heartbeat may slow, his breathing deepens, and a sense of peace washes over him. In that moment, he realizes he has a place to rest. Someone is truly listening to his heartbeat, not just seeing his strong exterior. This kiss is different because it doesn't just appeal to the senses, it touches a deeper symbolic level. The left side of the chest, in the collective unconscious, is always linked to life, love, and loyalty. When you kiss him there, you are unconsciously affirming, "I choose to love you from the root, from where your life began." This isn't a passing attraction. It's a sacred bond that he will remember forever. Many men will never say it out loud, but deep down, they long to be seen not just for their strength, but for their heart. The world may praise them for their success and courage, but very few come close enough to say, "You deserve to be loved just because you exist." And a kiss on the left side of the chest is the most silent, yet most powerful, way of saying it. Some women have shared that when they kiss their partner's chest, the reaction isn't a burst of passion, but a quiet, emotional silence. Some men will wrap their arms around them more tightly, while others close their eyes and sigh, as if the day's burdens have been lifted. In that moment, he doesn't have to hide or prove anything. He only needs to exist and be loved. Later, when he is alone, he may forget many words and superficial moments, but he will clearly remember the feeling of that kiss. The feeling that someone touched his deepest, most guarded place. And because of this, the memory becomes a sacred mark, making you irreplaceable in his mind. A kiss on the left side of the chest, therefore, is not just a romantic act. It's a communion of souls, a silent promise that your love is not based on conditions or appearances, but on the true man he is. And that is why this kiss is one of the most eternal experiences in a man's life. True love isn't always found in grand promises or loud displays. It lives in small details, in moments that seem ordinary but leave a deep impression on the heart. The 7 kisses we've explored on the nape of the neck, the inner arm, the back, the eyelids, the waist, the hand, and the chest are not ostentatious acts. They are subtle gestures, a silent language that only the heart truly understands. Each kiss carries a unique message. You can let your guard down. You are respected for both your strength and your vulnerability. You are not alone. You can rest. You can trust. Your efforts are appreciated. And finally, you are loved from the very roots of your heart. This isn't just physical intimacy. It's a soul connection, the kind that a man remembers long after time has passed. He may never say the words, but his body and heart will remember. These kisses become a memory of the body, an emotional imprint that won't fade. And you, the woman who knows how to love with such subtlety, who knows how to touch the places others overlook, will become the most unforgettable impression in his life. Lasting love doesn't require complicated schemes. It requires presence, listening, and a quiet thoughtfulness in every action. When you understand the power of these kisses, you no longer have to try to be unforgettable. You naturally become it in his mind. If this resonated with you, please leave a comment, share your thoughts or experiences, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to continue this journey of exploring deep, subtle, and authentic love. Like this video if you believe that love is nurtured by the smallest of things. Share it with a friend so they can also understand that sometimes a simple kiss can change an entire relationship, because true love isn't in the grand things, but in how we show up for each other, in every small detail. And you, right now, have the power to give that to the one you love.